I'd like to call to order the January 15th, 2013 of the regular meeting of the Bowling Green Board of Commissioners. I invite you to stand with me if you'd like. We have with us tonight Captain Ransom Bennett, who's a chaplain for the Bowling Green Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol of the United States Air Force Auxiliary. Captain Bennett, would you be kind enough to offer invocation this evening?
Certainly. Join with me. Almighty God, we ask that your divine care to cover those who are traveling in this inclement weather. And in that confidence, we want to admit that you are the all-encompassing God who we are and whose ways are to be reflected in every realm of our life. Grant it that we not think of ourselves or you to be concerned to do your bidding only when we are in our houses of worship. Even as we meet as this local civic body, may we acknowledge that we are not the masters of our fate, the captains of our souls, that we are not the owners but stewards of the gifts of life. And as such, we offer our prayer of gratitude for the many gifts you have given to us, especially the gift of freedom. Teach us that we are the freest when we align our wills with yours. May this be reflected by the body of leaders here through what is done and said in the moments to come, so that when the final gavel falls, all will know that good has been done and the city of Bowling Green has been well served. Amen.
Amen. And now the captain will lead us in Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your service to the community and our country. Ms. Schaller, please call the roll.
Commissioner Denning.
Here.
Commissioner Hill.
Here.
Commissioner Waltrip.
Here.
Commissioner Williams.
Here.
Mayor Wilkerson.
Here. The first item on our agenda tonight is a public hearing to review the to receive comments about the annual action plan for the Year 10 Community Development Block Grant Entitlement Program. Mr. Febo.
No comments other than to introduce Brent to make the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager, Mayor, and Commissioners. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you again tonight about the CDBG program, the Community Development Block Grant Program. This is entitlement funding from HUD, Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is a formula-based program. There are several factors that go into the formula. They are population, poverty, age of housing, overcrowding, and growth lag. HUD runs the formula. I have never seen what the formula really looks like, but it's a formula out there that tells us how much money we're going to get. We're an entitlement community based on our population. Once we hit 50,000 in the 2000 census, that's what put us into the entitlement community status. This is our 10th year. This is a little bit different in that this is our final year of our consolidated plan. Consolidated plan, which we'll talk about here in just a second, is lays out the broad objectives, and it's a 5-year plan. And then each year we have to write an annual action plan. And that's what the process that we're starting tonight is, the Year 10 annual action plan process. And this will be our final one for this consolidated plan. So sometime this spring, summer, I'm not sure the timing yet, I will begin work on a new consolidated plan that will lay out our priorities for the next 5 years, so that is in place a year from now whenever we start the Year 11 annual action plan. Some of the priority needs from the consolidated plan from 5 years ago is the affordable housing opportunity, both home ownership and rental supportive housing. Also economic opportunity. That economic opportunity we've seen through the development of the Small Business Development Center partnership with the Housing Authority and Western Kentucky University, and also our contract agreement with Community Ventures Corporation, and also the transit expansion. The other priority from the consolidated plan would be our education and counseling. In HUD and CDBG, you must meet a national objective. These are our 3 national objectives that are given by HUD through the regulation. Benefit the low to moderate income person. The low to moderate income person is considered anyone that is at or below 80% of the area median income. That amount changes every year. That level changes every year. And then they also offer some specific designations where they deem people to be what we call LMI, low to moderate income, based on a certain status. elderly citizens, disabled citizens, persons with HIV/AIDS. There's about 7 classifications that are deemed to be LMI just based on their situation. The second one would be prevention or elimination of slums and blight. This would be removing or redoing blighted properties in a city. The last one would be meeting an urgent need. This one we don't even put on the application because it has to be tied to a presidentially declared disaster, and this is very rare for this one to ever come into play. This one, we've seen a few instances across the state with the recent flooding and some of the tornadoes and ice storm damage, but you're talking about none of them have been here. So these are very rare. Most, if not all, of ours goes into number 1, benefit to LMI, and we have a requirement that at least 70% of our funds go to benefit LMI persons. So this is the process. It started with a publication in the Daily News in December that announced the comment period that started. That comment period will end on January 25th. So anyone who wishes to make comment tonight can do so here, or they can make comment to me about what the housing and community development needs in Bowling Green are. They can do that through email, through letter. They have until the 25th. And then I take those comments and use that as part of the development of the action plan. After the process ends, after the comment period ends, we'll actually release agency applications. We use an agency application process. You all are very familiar with that process, where local organizations will apply for these CDBG funds to do projects that they believe will benefit the housing and community development needs of Bowling Green. Those applications will be released on the 28th and will be due back on February 22nd at 4 p.m. After they are sent back in, then I will review them, make sure that they're eligible, go through the regulation part of it, and then we have a citizen review committee that meets in March that will actually review those, interview the applicants, and then we'll make a recommendation. That recommendation is what I use to actually draft the plan. I will present that back to you all in another public hearing in April, and then bring it back to you in May for full approval before we send it on to Louisville, HUD Louisville, and then we will actually start the process of implementing the Year 10 Annual Action Plan in July. So the work now is just the administrative work until we actually start the physical work in July. These is a list of some eligible activities. These are kind of broad, and I'll kind of go through and show you some examples. To go back real quick, in this slideshow I have included some pictures of other projects that we've done with CDBG funds, just to kind of give you an idea, because I know sometimes you just see the words on the screen. Sometimes it's good to actually see what those projects really look like. This is a picture of the boat landing sidewalk project that we did with Year 7 funds that was completed this past August. There's sidewalk from 185 all the way down boat landing, I can't remember where it ends, and then also up Jackson. It's about 2,100, 2,200 feet of sidewalk, curb, gutter, storm sewer, and everything in that area. And that really provided a bridge from the residential area up to the commercial shopping district with Houchins up there. Once again, this is the list of some eligible activities. And then these are things that are specifically prohibited. We cannot run government, we cannot build city hall, we cannot buy fire trucks, we cannot buy police cars, those types of things. We can't use it for political activities. So these things are specifically prohibited under the regulation for CDBG funds. And if any time anybody has any questions, feel free to stop me. This is a breakout of how we've used our funds over the last 10 years. And you can see that most of the money has went into housing activities. Next would be public facilities. Public facilities would be streets, sidewalks, storm sewers, those types of things, infrastructure related projects, or community center type construction activities, non-housing. Economic development has been a small part, but most of that has been centered on the job development programs through the Housing Authority and also CVC. And then our public service has been stronger in the last couple of years, but it's overall a small percentage just based on the regulation. We're only allowed to spend 15% of our allocation for public service projects. So no matter what, that will always be a small percentage just based on the regulation. And our administration is at 6%. We're allowed to spend up to 20% for our general admin expenses over the last 10 years. In total, 6%. This is a picture looking down State Street. And tonight on the agenda is the closeout for this project that's been done for over 2 years now. This is the State Street Drainage Improvements Project. This was actually ARA funds, or CDBG-ARA, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, or commonly known as the stimulus funds, where we installed new storm sewer and sidewalk. And I think, and Jeff's here, he can correct me if I'm wrong, that this is collecting water that's coming down the 8th Street Hill right there and diverting it. Thank you, Jeff. Here's some examples of some other previously funded activities. Under acquisition, we bought the property for Renaissance Village, Independence Place. Also the Child Care Center for Community Action, the property there. The Weatherization Transit Building on Beauty Avenue. We assisted in the purchase. I want to clarify, we assisted in the purchase of these properties. And then the Independent Living Program for Youth for Bellwood, and then the CASA Expansion Project, which is the Paxton House here on 10th Street. Previously, we did a homeowner rehab project. I actually oversaw that on contract with the city through the Brad office. And then we did a rental conversion program with the Housing Authority where they would buy houses that were for rent, fix them up, resell them as affordable homes. This is a picture, as most of you probably saw just a couple weeks ago, of the new shelter at Parker Bennett Park over at Parker Bennett Community Center. This is probably one of the most proud projects I've been a part of because it involves so many departments, so many different agencies, and just all the people involved to come together and make a beautiful park over there. This is a list of some of the public services that we've done, child care services and transit services with Community Action, our GED ESL classes with Western Kentucky Research Foundation, and also our assistance payments where we're paying rent and utility assistance through the Bowling Green Warren County Welfare Center. And this is a picture of the guys installing the new light poles over at Pettigo Park, which was one of the parks projects that we finished this fall also. Some previous construction projects, we assisted Brass with the construction of a new facility. Expansion of the Phoenix Place over at the Phoenix Place Learning Center, and I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. A boat landing sidewalk project that I talked about, the park improvement project that I talked about, and we're currently working with Windover Apartments for a flood mitigation project over there. That one hasn't started yet, but we're in the working out some of the administrative burdens. Talked about the small business, and then our administrative costs pay for our cost as a city to run the program and also the Fair Housing Outreach Program through the Human Rights Commission. As with any federal program, we have to report on our outcomes. We have to tell HUD what we're doing with the money. They have a full online system that I have to use to make sure that we are reporting on the outcomes and make sure that they can then report to Congress on what CDBG funds are being used for in a consistent manner, so that someone in Bowling Green can report on houses rehabbed, and that's similar to someone in California reporting on something. So each project is designed so to make sure that we have outcomes, measurable outcomes and measurable objectives that we can meet and that we can report back to HUD with. This is a table that HUD provides. It's halfway useful to help lay out some of the outcomes and objectives they provided, so I provided to you all. And then I also provided to the applicants and the organizations that we contract with. Our estimated funding level for FY14 is $496,000. This number is subject to change. I don't know how much faith to put in this number. If it changes, I expect it to go down. If you go back to, I think 2 years ago, we were at $611,000. This number is dependent on Congress's decision in March. I was hoping to have a final decision in December with the fiscal cliff. They didn't really make the decision, so now we have to wait till March to see what the decision will be. So those decisions affect us here on a local level. This is a picture of the expansion of the Phoenix Place Early Learning Center, and they were able to expand out, add some more restroom facilities and some more classroom space over there. Something that I've started since I've been here is a CDBG grantee workshop. It's about an hour and a half long, and I really encourage anybody that is interested in applying for CDBG funds to come sit through this. It's not that painful. We do have some donuts and some breakfast and things like that, so it's not too bad. But you just kind of listen to me talk about CDBG. There's a lot of back and forth question and answer session, and it's a good time to kind of talk about projects, how you need to structure projects, what you need to include, what you don't need to include, and what the rules are, and so that the applicants understand what they're getting into. You know, there are a lot of rules with this. This is a federally funded program, so we have to make sure that the rules are followed, and I want them to be aware of that on the front end. This is a picture of a house in Lee Square. The house was not built with CDBG funds. That is an ineligible activity, if you paid attention to the previous slides. But the land was purchased with CDBG funds. This was pre-entitlement. This was whenever we were a small city program, and we had to actually compete through the state for those funding. But that's still a CDBG project that was done here in Bowling Green.
Brent, how long does that training last?
If it goes 2 hours, I'd be surprised.
2 hours.
Yeah, I've done it the last 2 years, and it's about hour and 15. It just depends on questions. I'd say plan for an hour and a half to 2 hours. So. And then if anyone has any comments that they'd like to make tonight, I do ask that them come forward, state their name so that we do have it for the record. If no one wants to make comments tonight, they can always send me comments, either mail or email. And we have until the 25th to send me the comments before the comment period ends. Are there any questions?
Mr. Denning?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What areas have we already determined to be in the classification of slum and blight areas?
Well, if you go back to the Chapter 99 redevelopment plan that the city passed in 2000, we have designated the downtown district as a slum blight area. That was part of that Chapter 99 plan to assume that designation. There was also a Chapter 99 plan that was done on between, I think, here in the university, kind of up on the top side of the hill. Those are the only two that I know of that are still in existence. There was a St. Joe Chapter 99 district, but that area has been redeveloped. That was redeveloped several years ago. So outside of those areas being designated slum blight, there have been no other areas designated slum blight. You can still do a spot basis where you could say that this building is slum blight, which would be similar to kind of what we do through code enforcement, where we can condemn a single building. However, as an area, the only two that I know of are the Chapter 99 plans.
Reason I ask, on 2nd Street, not in the block that we're familiar with, it was just completed a couple of weeks ago, but houses between State and College, on the right side, of course. We, I think, had one of the houses demolished and so on, and it is cleared. But I was concerned about some other houses in that block going towards College Street that may fit into this category.
I see.
So I guess what we need to do is determine through code enforcement, I guess, how we need to go about looking at those.
Yeah, I think that would be probably the better avenue for a specific project like that. On a slum blight, what you're really looking at is a larger, maybe a whole block area, but then you have a redevelopment plan to come in behind. If you look at what we did downtown, we purchased up a whole block, but then we came in and redeveloped with new affordable housing, or we came in and redeveloped a new city park. So that was all part of the plan of purchasing, demoing, and then redeveloping. Did I answer your question, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Any comments from the crowd?
I have one quick question.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all, I think you did, I'm just trying to confirm, did y'all talk about the VA hospital property?
Not yet.
Okay, I didn't know if it would qualify for.
Abraham's trying to set that up with all
Okay.
the parties. But we have chatted, and it's a matter of scheduling now, and Brent's aware of it, and we're going to chat about it.
Seeing no other questions and no other comments, I'd ask the mayor to close the public hearing.
No one else stepping forward? And we'll close this public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Dale, for being here. Appreciate it. And we'll continue on. Mr. DeFebo, do we have any awards or recognitions this evening?
I do not, Mayor.
Anyone? And comments?
Yes, two. First, I'd like to withdraw item 19 from our agenda. I've learned that this is not quite ready for action by the commission, and staff is doing some additional work. I don't know if that requires a vote. No. Second is there'll be a need for a brief executive session. No vote required. Kate will read the reasons.
Pursuant to KRS 61810B for deliberation on the future acquisition or sale of real property by the city, but only when publicity would likely affect the value of the specific piece of property to be acquired for public use or sold by the city. And KRS 61810C for discussions of proposed or pending litigation against or on behalf of the city.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip and second by Hill. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Approval of the minutes from the December 18th regular meeting, 2012.
So moved.
Motion by Hill,
Second.
second by Waltrip. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Abstain.
Wilkerson.
Yes. At this point in the meeting, we have an opportunity for anyone from the public that would like to make a comment about an item that is not on tonight's agenda. We'd invite you to the microphone at this time. Mr. Gossam, nothing? All right, let's continue on. Municipal Order 2013, number 1.
Municipal order electing Melinda M. Hill as Mayor Pro Tem.
So moved.
Second. Third.
Motion by Waltrip, second by, I got to get that right, Williams. There's too many W's up here now.
Williams.
Yep. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Yes. I didn't know if I could
Waltrip.
vote for myself.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. The next few items are the second reading of ordinances that we started at the last meeting and have been going on for the last couple of years to make sure that it was not required for these organizations to accept particular members of the commission, but they're certainly invited to, and you'll find that in some of the appointments that we make. So the second reading of ordinance 2012-42.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 23, Water and Sewer of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to make various administrative changes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning and second by Waltrip. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Ordinance number 2012-43, second reading.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 6, Building Regulations of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to amend the composition of the Contractors Licensing Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Denning. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Second reading of ordinance 2012-44.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 14, Housing of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to amend the composition of the Housing Authority Board of Directors.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip and second by Hill. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Second reading of ordinance 2012-45.
Ordinance amending Code of Ordinances. Ordinance amending Chapter 11, Finance, Taxation, and Economic Development of the City of Bowling Green Code of Ordinances to amend the composition of the Job Development Incentive Program Committee.
So moved.
Motion by Waltrip and second by Hill. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. And the next item, list of them are assignments that we are recommended assignments for the boards that we are assigned to, and all of these will be one right after the other. Municipal Order 2013, number 2.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Commissioner Rick Williams to the Bowling Green Municipal Utilities Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning and second by Waltrip. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 3.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Commissioner Melinda M. Hill to the Job Development Incentive Program Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning and second by Waltrip. Any discussion? Please call. Beg pardon?
Beg your pardon? No, I didn't say anything.
Okay. Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 4.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Commissioner Joe W. Denning to the Bowling Green Audit Committee.
So moved.
Motion by Hill and second by Waltrip. Is there any discussion?
No. I'm sorry.
Y'all had a marathon meeting yesterday. I didn't know if you wanted to report on it or not.
It was a good meeting.
Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yeah. Oh, abstain.
Now you
Hill?
get to vote on you.
Yeah, you can vote if you like.
I can vote on myself? Well, I'm going to vote on myself. Yes.
Okay. Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 5.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Commissioner Bill Waltrip to the Job Development Incentive Program Committee and the Bowling Green Warren County Drug Task Force.
So moved.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Motion.
Second, Commissioner Williams.
Motion by Hill and second by Williams. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 6.
Municipal order approving the appointment of Bruce Wilkerson to the Contractors Licensing Board.
I better make my own motion. I don't know if anybody's going to second it or not. I'm listening to anybody.
I was going to have some discussion about it, so I'll let somebody.
Well, we got to have a
else make
second
the
before we
motion.
can talk about it.
Second.
Somebody.
We already got a motion?
Second.
Who made the
Oh,
motion?
he folded. He folded, y'all. That agreement, he folded.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Denning and Hill.
Then Williams on
Okay.
second.
Denning and-
Go ahead with your discussion, Mr. Denning. I'm
No,
ready
that's
for it.
all right. I've
All right.
changed my mind.
Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Now, Municipal Order 2013, number 7.
Municipal order approving the reappointments of Lisa Henderson and Jerry W. Phelps to the Bowling Green Warren County Military Liaison Board.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill and second by Williams. Is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 8.
Municipal order approving the appointments of Mac Jefferson and Eric Walker to serve on the Intermodal Transportation Authority Incorporated Board of Directors and authorizing the submission of appointments to the Warren County Judge Executive.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip and second by Denning. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 9.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2013-16 for the purchase of a backhoe replacement from Diamond Equipment of Bowling Green, Kentucky in the amount of $70,461.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill and second by Denning. Mr. DeFebo.
In this year's Public Works operating budget, we set aside money to replace a backhoe. We went out to a public bid. We had 4 respondents. From our discernment, 2 of those did not meet the requirements. We're asking in the bid that they be able to accept Caterpillar attachments, which we have a great number of. That left 2 bidders of that. The lowest bid was Diamond. We recommend their approval. Jeff Lashley is here if you have any questions.
Any questions, comments? I'm sure Bobby will make good use of it, right? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 10.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2013-02 for Center Street and 11th Avenue signal improvements from Arrow Electric Company of Bowling Green, Kentucky in the amount of $126,502.31.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning and second by Waltrip. Mr. DeFebo.
One of our goals, as the Commission knows, is to improve the signalization downtown. This is a continued effort of that. Started a number of years ago. We're here to replace the signal at 11th and Center Street. We had one bidder. We feel the one bidder meets the specs. Jeff Lashley is here again if you have any questions about the need for this light and its connectivity to the rest of the lights.
Does this include connection to the computer board? Yes, sir. Thank you. Mr. Denny?
Yes.
I guess at 11th and Center.
Post office.
Okay, I'm with you now. I was one block up. No questions. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denny.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 11.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2013-12 for fiscal year 2011 sidewalk construction program phase 2 from Scott and Murphy Incorporated of Bowling Green, Kentucky in the amount of $157,761.
So moved.
Motion by Denning, second by Waltrip. Mr. DeFebo.
Another one of our public goals is to improve the sidewalk stock in the community as well, to provide necessary ramps for those with disabilities. We're here tonight to ask you to approve the results of a bid process for approximately 2,100 feet of sidewalk from East 11th to Russellville. We had 6 bidders. The lowest bidder was Scott and Murphy. Again, Jeff is here if you have any questions.
Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 12.
Municipal order authorizing a change order to the contract with Carter Douglas Company of Russellville, Kentucky for locker room renovation mosaic tile installation, bid number 2013-17, in the amount of $1,850 for a total project cost of $26,350.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip and second by Hill. Mr. DeFebo.
As Brent mentioned earlier during his discussion about disability signage, one of our goals is to improve the access of all of our recreational facilities. We've made some improvements to the locker rooms at our main park, and we are here to ask you for a change order. Additional work is needed to be done on tile work. JB is here if you have any questions.
Any comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 13.
Municipal order authorizing and accepting bid number 2013-15 for uniforms for the fire department from Bluegrass Uniforms and Skyrider Marketing of Bowling Green, Kentucky for a total unit cost of $6,810.55.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip, second by Hill.
We provide uniforms for the fire department officers, and we divide that into exercise gear as well as traditional uniforms. We've had a number of bidders. We are asking you to bifurcate the bid between Bluegrass, which would provide the traditional uniforms, and the exercise wear would go to a local company known as Trax. Greg Johnson is here if you have any questions.
Any questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 14.
Municipal order approving construction and accepting maintenance of various streets in Charleston Place subdivision, sections 1 and 2.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Waltrip. Mr. Febo.
It's a long-standing protocol when a developer completes work on his subdivision. We improve it and it meets our specs, and we bring it into our domain. We're here tonight to ask you to do that on sections 1 and 2. Jeff Lashley and his engineering staff have looked at the parameters needed to come into the city system and are happy with the effort that's been made. If you have any questions, Jeff again is here.
Sure. Before he comes up, is this the one that the bond was given up? Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I'd like to give you a little background information on this project. It kind of leads into an item further down the agenda, but about a year or so ago, as you all know, we bond subdivision projects, construction projects. Historically, our escrow account that we keep, which is a surety account for bonds, a cash surety account, hovers around $300,000 to $500,000. It's a separate fund from our operating account. When you look at our audit, kind of gets blended in there, but it's a standalone escrow for these projects. We hold letters of credit, we hold cash, and we hold performance bonds, which are insurance companies. We have about $2.5 million in outstanding bonds currently. And about a year ago, the Planning Commission became concerned that about 40-some projects were in default. And really what default means is they were past the timeline to be completed under the subdivision regulations. They weren't really in default like bankruptcy or anything of that nature. But what the subdivision regs say is when you hit the 3-year mark, and for example, if you're on the letter of credit, the Planning Commission is required to call that bond, basically make you convert your letter of credit to cash. We put it in that surety account, and we have two options. We either continue to pry and beg the developer to build it on their own and then release the money, or we can take the money at that point and go out and build the project. But about a year ago, what concerned the Planning Commission Budget Committee so much was our surety account had ballooned up to about $900,000. And some of the projects were very old, and they were concerned that maybe on a project-by-project basis, we would not have enough money, even though we had taken the cash, to complete the project if we had to go out and build the project. Well, 3 former staff members are no longer work for the Planning Commission in the construction department, fairly confident that we had enough money if we had to go out and build the projects. But the Planning Commission directed us, the staff, that even though these projects were in default and the economy was tough, to go out and try to get these projects built. So around the 1st of last year, we sent a letter out to all 46 projects and said, you're in default. We're going to give you 90 days to get these projects done, or we're going to go build them. Kind of a threat, bluff, whatever you want to call it, but said, look, we're sitting on a lot of money. We're going to go out and build sidewalks, build subdivisions, whatever we have to do to get these done. Several developers got these things moving. Charleston was a very interesting project because the original developers had gone under, and this was inherited back to the bank. So American National Bank ended up with the project. Bank's not a developer, but it was theirs to get built. And so they were one of the first ones we were knocking on their door saying, look, build the project or we're going to call the bond and we're going to build the project ourselves. The bank worked hard to get it done. City Public Works worked hard to work with them to make sure everything was done. But punch list items were not completed. So at some point the Planning Commission decided to call the bond. And when we called the bond estimate was this amount. The bank said, we think it's this amount. So there was a little bit of issue with the bond call. In fact, there was attorneys involved, whatnot. Gene helped me out with some of that. But basically what we did is we called a dollar amount, and the bank said, here's a different dollar amount. Go finish it. We think that's all it should take. So we went out and built the project, and it wasn't enough. So to back up one step, the first 2 projects we built, as we expected, we didn't have enough money to complete because the bond money was so old. So we created in this year's budget a construction reserve account in addition to our surety account, which is 10% of that standing balance for cost overruns in case we go to build a project and we have, let's say, $12,000 and it costs $15,000. We can pull from another fund and finish out that project, but ultimately we hope the bond money covers the cost. But that's not what happened in this Charleston Place example. When we called the bond, and we went out and built the project, we were short on the funds. But the bank worked with us. Jeff and Melissa did a ton of work to get this done. But American really gets a lot of the credit because they worked hard with us. And so after the Planning Commission built the project, wrote the contractor a check, American anteed up the remaining amount of the money. Again, their goal was to get this project done. It's been on the books a long time. The neighborhood's built out. We wanted to get these streets accepted and get it into the city domain. And the bank, again, this is not what they do, build subdivisions. They were the lender. And so they were a little frustrated with everyone. But I think at the end we all pulled together. And I talked to Mr. Smith yesterday and thanked him for his help. And again, after we did the construction, they wrote us a check for the amount that the project was short. So the Planning Commission was made whole on the project. It's been built to the city's satisfaction. For one of the issues were ADA compliant sidewalks and a drainage problem. We got everything fixed and everyone's happy. Hopefully it's accepted and we can take it off the books and it's done. But I wanted to give you a little bit of background on how this process evolved, because it was a long process to get this done. And again, it's one of 46, and we've been working hard to get the other 45 done. A lot of them are out in the county. So, and one that was supposed to be on the agenda tonight didn't go as we planned. We thought we were close to done. Turned out it's not done. There's problems, and we're going to have to back up, and we may be finishing that one out, or again, a developer hopefully can get it done. But it's very complicated when you call bonds. It's not a fun process from our office to tell someone we're going to take your money and build your project. One last shot for y'all to do it, but we had to get this done, and I think the bank knew that too. It just came down to what the dollar figure was. And I'd also like to thank, besides the Public Works Department and American, Scott Murphy and Daniel did the work out there, and were low bidders and did quality work that obviously made the city feel it had met the standards and in our opinion, made it acceptable. So I'd be glad to answer any question about that process. It's kind of complicated. It's all built in the subdivision regulations, but we had to go all the way through the process to get this one done.
Comments or questions from Mr. Hunter?
I'd just like to say thank you for everyone working together to get this done.
I'd like to
Appreciate
thank
it.
Public Works. Jeff and Melissa carried the load on this. So thank you guys.
Anything else? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. First reading of ordinance 2013, number 1.
Ordinance annexing property by consent. Ordinance annexing 8.31 acres of property located on Smallhouse Road near the intersection of Cave Mill Road with property presently owned by Smallhouse Road Partners, LLC, and 1.56 acres of right-of-way for a total of 9.87 acres, and said territory being contiguous to existing city limits.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Denning, second by Hill. Mr. DeFebo.
A little while ago, we had a groundbreaking celebration of the new road that reinvented the intersection of Smallhouse and Cave Mill. Inherent with that project was, I believe, a desire by all of us that our investment in what was essentially county property would eventually come into the city. To that end, we received a request from Mr. Brooks on behalf of Mr. Poston to, in fact, ask that the property be annexed into the city. As part of a good housekeeping effort on our part to have as few city-county islands as possible, we're also including an additional 1.56 acres of right-of-way that represents basically the old road, the old Smallhouse Road stub. I think Mr. Brooks is here if you have any question on behalf of the developer, and Gene is ill tonight, and Jeff and I will muddle through on any questions you may have.
Comments or questions?
Is the road that goes back into Massey Springs, is that Massey Springs property, or is that part of this? You know which one I'm talking about?
This stub?
Yes, the stub.
I think it's Massey Springs. See it on the map.
Yeah.
This one doesn't show it. I don't have the plat in front of me. I believe it is public right-of-way up to their access point. So it'd just be a little spur that would be public right-of-way if my memory serves me correct.
So their access point is where it initially
Yes, sir.
was?
Any comments or questions?
Currently, I don't know if this goes to Steve or Kevin,
Try my best.
or Kevin. Probably Kevin. The property currently is zoned what? What is the property currently zoned?
Two different zones. Two different zonings in the neighborhood. They're RS1A, single family, the low density, 13 or 12,000 square foot lots. As part of that, but I think a little piece of this catches PUD when the old right-of-way is closed. as part of the annexation, and the right-of-way goes away. Some of that PUD zoning would go to the center line of the road that's over on the Massey Springs side. But the church is zoned single-family. Most of the tract is single-family, except a little piece that would be PUD. Is that right?
Massey Springs is PUD as
Massey
well.
Springs is PUD, planned unit development.
Anything else? Anyone else? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Abstain for business conflict. Municipal Order 2013, number 16.
Municipal order approving and authorizing the mayor to execute agreement to provide engineering services between the City of Bowling Green and the City County Planning Commission of Warren County, Kentucky.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip, second by Hill. Mr. DeFebo.
We were approached by Mr. Hunter a short time ago about the city's interest in conducting construction-related engineering services as it relates to subdivision regulation enforcement in the city. This is formally done by planning and zoning staff. That's going through some transition. Steve thought it would be a good business practice to contract with us and our professional staff to provide these services. The parameters of the services are contained in the agreement. We would be paid approximately $55 per hour, the same fee that was paid previously. I think Steve paid others. The program of work, as you can see in the agreement, outlines what we'll do. Both Steve and Jeff are here if you have any detailed questions.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013, number 17.
Municipal order approving and authorizing the mayor to sign a grant closeout agreement for community development block grant funding as part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for the State Street Drainage Improvements Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip, second by Williams. Mr. DeFebo.
This represents part of the stimulus money that was passed from the federal government through the states to us. We used this particular money, $150,000, for improvements to both sidewalk and stormwater to support our TIF partners, Chapter 58 partners. HUD is anxious to close this out, so they're asking Bruce to essentially say we're done. Brent says we're done and we'll stand by it, and so we're asking Bruce to sign the document.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. Municipal Order 2013-18.
Municipal order approving and authorizing the mayor to execute agreement for construction and maintenance of stormwater management water quality unit and grant of easement between the City of Bowling Green and Heartland Office Park, LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Waltrip, second by Williams. Mr. DeFebo.
The Commission's always urging us to find creative solutions that benefit both us and our private business partners in the community. Recently, we were presented with an opportunity from a local development group, Park Partners, to collaborate with them for a project that would essentially trade services. Under the Clean Water Act and National Pollution Discharge Act, developers are not only responsible for the amount of water they put into the system, but the quality. That's a new regulation. Had a developer here who was using an existing pond, which was provided at the 15th hole at Crosswinds to deposit water. But there were no plans made for stormwater quality. Under the regulation, he was privately responsible for putting in storm quality retention facilities. We thought it was wise, given our experience with water quality and our need for services at the Crosswinds Golf Course, to essentially trade. Here's the arm's length agreement. We will take the water quality retention basin plans developed by the developer, and we will construct next to the pond that already exists there, water quality facility, and maintain that. In exchange, the developer will place dirt around that pond to accept more water. He will also deposit and create a new tee box at the 14th green, essentially making what is a par 4 into a par 5, and which is, for the golfing community, is something they've wanted for a while. It's been on our capital improvement plans. Also, he's agreed to repave 8,171 linear feet of cart path on the Crosswinds Golf Course. So both values exchanged are roughly $74,000. The agreement was negotiated by myself, Jeff, Gene, and others, and we're here tonight to ask your approval.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Abstain for business conflict. Municipal Order 2013, number 19.
Municipal order approving and authorizing the mayor to execute consent to use of Parker Bennett Community Center between the City of Bowling Green and Bowling Green Technical College.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Hill, second by Waltrip. Mr. DeFebo.
As the commission knows and our community knows, we're becoming increasingly diverse. Tonight's municipal order represents another reflection of that. We've been asked by the Bowling Green Technical College to allow use of the Parker Bennett Center to help refugees learn English and to acculturate. To make this an arm's length incentive for us, the community college is going to provide computers at this Parker Bennett Center, allow their students to use them in the morning, and we would have benefit of the computers in the afternoon. Where we'd be charging no rent to Parker Bennett, providing the facility that we own and just have rehabbed recently. So we think it's a good deal. We think it's reflective of our efforts we're making with Leda Becker and the community of expanding variety of community we have in Bowling Green. So we think it's a good deal.
Any comments or questions?
My only comment would be that Leda's doing it, and with, I'm sure, help of other staff, and doing a really good job, and we've made great strides in the last couple of years in that area. Just thank staff for that.
I'd like to mention 2 brag points for Leda, if we could. One is she does a radio talk show that is designed to reach out to the Hispanic community. If you remember, we did the text messaging to text people about golf. We're now using this smartphone to text people about people in the Hispanic language to provide information to them. So we're using technology to reach out to all, not only golfers, but
people will go to our website, they'll see how to do that.
Yep.
So. Very good, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Denning.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Waltrip.
Yes.
Williams.
Yes.
Wilkerson.
Yes. That's the end of our regular session. Our next meeting is February 5th. Be happy for you to come. We'll take a 10-minute recess and return in closed session. And no